ended Saints fans' suspense and announced on Instagram today that he will return to the team for the 2020 season. But Brees just turned 41, and New Orleans has Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill waiting in the wings, with Bridgewater going 5-0, filling in for the injured Brees last year. While Hill said recently he thinks he's a franchise quarterback. All right, the question here is Drew Brees a better option than the Saints' backup quarterbacks?
Yes, he is. And I'm glad we're answering this question today, because if you would have asked me during the playoffs when they lost, my emotions were getting the best of me, and I was looking at Drew Brees like, boy, have you lost a step or so? But now emotions subsided. You can look at this realistically and honestly and say Drew Brees is their best option, even if you were to package up Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill and his 15 career pass attempts. You get out of here with that. And then Teddy Bridgewater, great numbers. Still not as great as Drew Brees. So if you want to say Drew Brees is in decline, say it. But he still led the league in completion percentage the last 3 seasons. And I'm not talking about 68, 69. I'm talking about 74%. 74%. So Drew Brees' best options, no matter how you bundle it up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with you. I'm going to say yes. His body of work speaks for itself. Still playing at an extremely high level. It's like having another coach. It's like having another offensive coordinator. It's like him and Sean Payton, they're on the same page. And, I mean, they got all these shiny weapons. Alvin Kamara. They got the tight end. What is his name? I can't even. He's slipping my mind right now.
Michael Thomas, the wide receiver.
I got there yet. Oh. What's the tight end's name?
Oh,
Jared Cook. He put me out the playoffs. Yeah. Ended my chance. Then they got Mike Thomas, and they didn't give Mikey all that money to experiment with a new quarterback. And I think you can re-sign Taysom, and you can still use him in that backup quarterback role, but you can also use him in the special teams role, in the gadget role, and you pick back up where you kind of left off. And, you try that, you run it back. They're running it back. And as far as Bridgewater, I mean, he's going to be way too expensive unless he decides to take a discount. And some people on here like discounts.
Only thing I don't like about the whole running it back, even though I pretty much agree with you, is they're going the wrong way in terms of playoff success. Like last year was a shortcoming compared to the year before, and we know how they've had these heartbreaks. So running it back, where's the psyche?
You run it back, and you try and get that bye again, and you know how the NFL works. You get that bye, and you get 2 playoff home games, and you get them in that dome, and you get hot at the right time, and you back in the Super Bowl. And that's all you can hope for.
Yeah. The price tag is relative to Brees. I agree that Brees is the better decision, but in terms of if his price tag is correct, because I look at it like this, I am going to look at the fallout from that playoff game. You were gimmicky at times. You were with Hill. You were doing things that, to me, you were having more success with Hill in the game than you were with Brees. I mean, at one point, I was wondering if they were going to keep Hill in. Now, that leads me to my second point. Teddy B isn't even in the mix in the playoff game, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I wonder if this is like Tua in the championship game. If you put Teddy B in, is this even a playoff? Is this even a extra time game? That's what I thought. So I mean, I appreciate the advice, but that's what I was thinking.
I felt the same thing.
I mean? You know how the NFL works, though. You playing in the league and you playing somebody so many times, and Brees got some strong tendencies, and he's gonna do what he does better than you do what you do. And just putting in Teddy was kind of like a change-up. You didn't know what you was gonna get. We haven't seen Teddy in forever. But to say that I'm gonna invest $30 million a year into Teddy for 4 years, or I can take that $30 million and give it to Brees for the next 2 and have a chance at winning championships, I'm going to do it. They weren't really high scoring when they had Teddy. Their defense was playing extremely well.
Their defense was playing well.
I think that what we all let slip by us in the big realm of this thing is their defense struggled down the stretch. They weren't able to stop anyone.
I think there's 2 interesting things here. And one of them you said about the money they paid Michael Thomas, and they got to justify it. And who gives them the best chance of Mike Thomas catching as many balls as he did this year? He set an NFL record. It's Drew Brees. Then the other part, too, of this, which y'all are kind of getting at, and I think we're all tap dancing around it, to me, if the Saints clearly are in on this, they'll probably give Drew around $25 million. It'll be something less than 30.
Got to give him a little raise.
They gave him 25 last year. You can't do
27.5.
Run it back.
I don't know. He's a year older.
27.5 for 2.
If they offering Tom Brady 30, they're going to have to give him 30.
I'm not sure. But to me, the other statement being made here is like, and I'm hearing it from y'all, too. Y'all kind of co-signing what the Saints are saying. Man, Teddy Bridgewater's nice, but he ain't all that.
$30 million?
Yeah.
He's going to get it on the open market, but for them
30
to say
million?
there, no.
But
he's not
again,
getting it
everybody
there.
I'm
is
saying Drew Brees is going to demand $30 million.
Well, no. But my point is the fact that y'all are all saying Drew's a better option
You're right.
than a young guy in his prime who allegedly is going to hit the market and there's going to be all this demand for him and somebody's going to pay him $30 million. If they thought he was Jimmy Garoppolo, they would move on from Drew Brees.
Do we agree that we think Teddy Bridgewater is better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, we don't, because
Okay.
clearly,
here's where the debate comes in.
Again, to me, I'm hearing people say we got to feed Michael Thomas, and the only way to feed him is with Drew, and we don't think Teddy Bridgewater is all that he's being hyped up to be.
I'm going to say this. It's something about this tandem right now that they're trying to package as their backups, which is Taysom Hill being the gadget, along with Teddy Bridgewater, that still doesn't trump Drew Brees. Drew Brees' worth is going to be tied to, like you said, legendary status. Tom Brady, was he command if he stays or goes? And then Drew Brees, you got to appreciate him somehow and give him some inflation. He was 2 years, $50 million. He had to pull teeth to get that.
Let me answer that, though.
All right.
Drew Brees doesn't have the leverage that Tom Brady had.
Right.
He doesn't, because he got Bridgewater and Taysom Hill sitting behind him.
Yeah,
if
that
Bill
could be
Belichick,
more leverage.
I think Mr. New Orleans got leverage.
That could be more leverage.
Mr. New Orleans,
Whitlock on
Mr.
that.
New Orleans is tied to Sean Payton. And I think if Sean Payton goes in there and he says, you know, whatever we got to do to get Drew here, and I think Drew's...
they played hardball with him last
They
time.
played last time. He was tied to Sean Payton.
But Mr. Benson wasn't dead last time.
Okay, I give you that.
He wasn't dead last time.
That.
And Mickey Loomis wasn't calling the shots. And I think Mickey Loomis' job is also tied to Drew Brees. Well, who gives us the best chance to win? So you keep losing in the first round and you can't get over the hump and you keep kind of struggling. And then you say, all right, we're going to move on to Teddy. Now, what's your excuse when you tied 4 years, $150 million into Teddy and you're still losing and you locked in?
Well, again, I've heard you loud and clear. You're skeptical at Teddy Bridgewater. And
I just don't think Tom Brady has more leverage than Drew Brees. I mean, I'm going to stay on that.
They got backups. They don't have a backup. Jared Stidham.
That's a very important word that you put in what you said. Backups. They are backups.
I just got to clear up something because, you know, as former defenders, the defense wasn't that bad, as you said, Orlando, down the stretch. I mean, like, they gave up, what, like 17, 7, 28, 10s, 26. You lose to Minnesota. Like, they weren't that bad. So
Drew Brees giving up some big plays, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
big
between the
plays,
20s.
team.
But I'm going to say this. Drew Brees is sitting there because he's waffling, wavering a little back and forth. They played hardball before. This is not slam dunk Drew Brees. He's not in Tom Brady's position, and he knows that.
The Patriots play hardball every time with Tom Brady.
Yes, they have.
They haven't paid him over $20 million, $25 million a year.
Talk about Young Buck. Young Buck up here.
No, he's
throwing down right
but
now.
Look, I'm just sorry. I don't think Brees is in position
He's not in the same position.
to
He can't go
get a bunch of money.
I don't think
other
Drew Brees has any interest in leaving New Orleans. You know, with just his arm and, you know, just the amount of usage he has on that thing. You got that surgery. You know, that thing gets repaired, but it ain't new.
Well, no, he's not going to leave Michael Thomas and Sean Payton and that offense. And again, that's why I think he's going to sign a very reasonable contract. Right. I think he's coming back for 1 year. It's a Super Bowl or bust.
And
then they have to move on.
1 for 28.
1 for 28 with some incentives if they win it all to get him to 35.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hit 30.
1 for 28.
That would be a
with
gift.
Incentives.
Why are they giving out
if
gifts?
They win it all.
Coming up.
You're going to be on that mountain still.
The Lakers have outplayed the Clippers so far this year.
Chill.
But will that change after the All-Star break? Find out.
Chill.
Speak for Yourself is presented by Hyundai.